Just curious, there were reports that you had prepared a document or organizational Bible. Were those accurate? I reserve a follow-up if the answer is.
Yeah, I mean, don't believe everything you read in the papers, all right? I have no idea where that came from. I don't have a 400-page document. I mean, and to think I would just go out and hand it, I mean, come on, really.
In terms of your thinking for what you did want to do with the job, at what point did you start thinking in your head, if I had a college program to run, this is what I would do? Because you obviously spent so many years in the NFL world of thinking how I would run an NFL team or organization if I were at a different one than the Patriots. At what point did college start really becoming a focus of your thinking?
You know, I mean, that's a great question. Here's what I would say. College kind of came to me this year. I didn't necessarily go and seek it out, but I had many coaches, I mean, we're probably a couple of dozen coaches, talk to me and say, hey, can we get down and sit down and talk to you about these things? The, let's call it salary cap of pro football relative to college football, the headsets, the green dot, the 2-minute warning, the tablets on the sideline. Those were all rules changes this year in college football that were either the same or similar to what we had in the NFL. And these coaches said, hey, coach, can we just talk to you about how you did this, how you did that, what, you know, how did you use this, what, you know, how did you handle the, you know, talk about the 2-minute, you know, how did that, what did that warning, how did that affect your strategy at the end of the half, the end of the game? How did you look at it? You know, how did you break it down? And so as those conversations started, and then the personnel conversations started relative to salary cap and how you spend whatever the allotment of money you have is, whether that's by player, by position, by, you know, freshmen, recruits, transfer. How did you look at that? And so I had multiple conversations with several coaches in this conference, within the Big Ten and Southeast Conference, and others. So, and sometimes there were coaches who were on the staff that were responsible for, let's call it situational football, for kind of organizing that, or in some cases, a person in the organization that was maybe in football, but now being moved over to the, let's call it semi-general manager type role, that wasn't familiar with that aspect of what was now invading college football, right, with the, you know, the revenue share and the NIL. So I'd say that started to make me a lot more aware of it, because the first thing I had to do was learn about it and say, okay, well, what are you dealing with here? And then they would kind of explain, all right, well, here's our situation. Then you hear another coach at another school explain it sort of the same way, but it was different at his school for whatever reason it was, and so forth, on and on and on. So in the end, long answer to a short question here, sorry. You know how I like to ramble on in press conferences, right? But yeah, you just, you know, as you learn different things about different programs and you start to put it all together, then there's some common threads, and then there's some variables.
Last two